check our mic in a second. Alright. Check, 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 check. Check, 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 check. Okay, I think that sounds good. Do this. And then make sure it all sounds good. Oh. Okay, so what are we working on today, guys? Today we're just going to do some wedges. Try to work on some shorter distance shots here with our Rapsodo launch monitor. Go sand wedge here. Try to hit like a 50-yard one. We can work on some of those. Minnesota Caden is here. Cats are better than people, said hi. I tend to have the same feelings about dogs. Okay, 43 yards. We at least got a reading on that one. $39, okay. Nikki Donahue said hi. Hello. Christmas Army. What's the furthest he's swung? Oh, on the stream? I don't know. We definitely hit some like 320 on the TrackMan when we were streaming inside in the winter time. Back when I was doing a bunch more speed training and my body was less angry at me. Okay, 41 again. So that's just like a little 40-yard pitch shot. Now what if I actually gave it some speed? There we go. That's 50 yards in the air. That's exactly what we were looking for. I saw a video recently of somebody where he was doing 5-yard increments with a launch monitor inside. I thought that was pretty cool. You know, he would go like 20, 25, 30, 35. And just work your way up from there. I mean, that's a pretty advanced degree of training, but nice hit, noob. Thanks very much. Joshua, what app are you using? This is it's a Rapsodo mobile launch monitor. It works with an iPad or an iPhone, and It's a very portable, easy to set up little launch monitor. Gives you some ball speed data, launch angle data. I like bringing it to the range and doing drivers. Gives you a sense of the dispersion. Slurwin Lewis said hi. Hello. Oh, still trying to get loosened up a little bit here. I'm not going to be doing a bunch of big full swings. But we are, guys, going to get to play some golf tomorrow morning. Oh, nice. That was 47, so that's right in the range of what we're looking for with that type of swing, which is awesome. And then we are also going to try to play 18 holes on Thursday. And really try to push the pedal to the metal when it comes to this back to scratch challenge. You know, might as well give it a good run. Try and get as many rounds of golf in as I can. Whoa. Obviously the weather has taken a pretty remarkable turn for the worse. I think we're coming out the other side of that though. So hopefully over the next week or so, we'll be able to get out there, really test the game, see if we can't get our index as close to 0 as we can. At a minimum, we can say that we're proud of the effort. Right? Putting in a bunch of time, working on the game. What's today? Day 23, I think, guys, on the Back to Scratch Challenge. We have to do some updates as far as how much time we've spent. I've been tracking pretty diligently. You know, like the amount of time I've spent on driver, short game. This time we'll probably go on short game. We're doing a bunch of wedges. Co-Memes said hi. Hello, Co-Memes. Oh, boy. All right, so that swing's pretty reliably going about 40 yards in the air, which is good. Oh, tell you what. Still, as of yet, not feeling 100%. However, I think getting closer. To where at least with a cart I'll be able to get around. Randono, any good places to find alignment sticks? What an interesting question. Most of the time, I think they're branded, right? So if you're a fan of, you know, Titleist, you can find Titleist alignment sticks. If you like, you know, Super Stroke, their grips, I know I've seen their alignment rods. Usually, I just get the orange ones from Home Depot. They're like $1. You know, they're like a 4-foot orange dowel. I think they use them for like traffic and marking off different areas. But that's definitely the cheapest and most accessible option. Although go to Lowe's, not Home Depot, if you had to pick one. Oh, man, we got so much rain, guys. It's been crazy. Do a Happy Gilmore shot. I would if I wasn't so concerned about injuring myself. We could do a mini version because we're doing little wedge shots, right? Ugh. I should learn how to juggle. Like, imagine if I could juggle 2, 3, 4 golf balls at a time. That's going to be a lot of hard work to get to that point. Hey, Josh is here. Notification is here. Oh, I think we're doing good, but I do appreciate you offering. It's very nice of you to offer to moderate. Do you have a bunch of people that enjoy doing that? But keep hanging out. Keep coming back to the streams. And who knows what could happen. All right, I'm going to grab a longer club. How about we hit like some 8 irons? Do I feel properly warmed up for that? Maybe not. Oh, boy. What's your favorite driver of all time? Good question. I think my favorite driver, it was kind of a love-hate relationship, but the SLDR 430 head that I had when I played in college, that thing was an absolute rocket launcher. If you missed the center of the face, it was going pretty much off the planet, but the days when you could find the center of the face and hit that thing in play, the ball was just going to go so high and so far with no spin. That was a really good one. The OG Stealth that I had in the bag for a long time until it caved in. That was a really good one. The plane guy wants to know, what socks do you wear? Bro, you gotta pay extra for that. You gotta pay a lot extra. Talking about footsies and stuff. Randono, any tips for swing path? Yeah, so the way that I feel it, right, is mostly in that my shoulders dictate the plane. If my shoulders stay really closed, then the path is going to be out to the right. If they start flying open, then the path gets really across it and to the left. Right, so when I try to feel like I'm aiming, right, or I want to keep that path, you know, right down the target, I try to feel like my shoulders are staying neutral, right? They're not staying really closed. They're not flying open. That tends to be my tendency, especially with the longer clubs, right? As I get a little bit, let's swing, and I go turning my upper body this way, right? And the path gets way to the left. So that's at least maybe something helpful about how I'm currently thinking about it. That was actually hit decent. Oh, see, I don't have the stability yet. I don't have the balance. See, there we go. That's just, you gotta launch it up a bit higher. Get more of that distance we're expecting. Outside on the golf course, guys, not on the net, obviously. This club goes comfortably about 155. This is 8 iron. That was also hit nicely. It really Finding the center of the face early. Ooh. Oliver wants to know, do you get crap for tattoos on the course ever? Good question, Oliver. I've had lots of questions about this, you know, on the live stream about my tattoos and golf. The answer is no. I've never had somebody, you know, give me a hard time. I've had plenty of people ask me about them, you know, in a friendly sort of way. But no, I've never had any issues with, you know, people being rude or, you know, I think also people nowadays are pretty accustomed to seeing heavily tattooed people, or they know somebody in their life who's had a bunch of tattoos done, and they're like, oh, they're just a person like me, and they're here at a golf course, so they probably like golf like me. Tell you what, that was nicely struck again. Any good golf programs? What do you mean by programs? Do you mean like workouts? Do you mean like TV shows? I really like how I'm starting to work my hips a little bit further back in the downswing. Oh, coaching. I do most of my learning, or whatever you could say, on my own, independently. I don't, you know, have a coach or a PJ professional that I work with or anybody like that. This is 8 iron. Who is good out there? I think Seguto Golf does a pretty good job explaining stuff. Or Golf Slumpy. It's just still pushing off with that left knee that is starting to get me. Probably don't need this on at this point. Let's not lose our AirPods. See, I like how the swing looks a lot. I just don't trust myself to really be stable in the downswing. Yeah, it's definitely getting better though. Hey, Jake007 is here. How am I feeling? I'm feeling slowly but surely better and better. I am going to try and get out on the course tomorrow morning. See how many holes we can play. Might be early, but we could potentially do a live stream. In the morning from the golf course. Are you going live on the course? Well, that's what we were just thinking about. It's going to be early. I don't know if I'm going to be paired up with anybody. So it's usually kind of a wait and see kind of deal. But I did enjoy going live from the golf course. What is the dog doing? Yeah, you're not supposed to be back here. What do you think, Jake? Should we go live from the golf course? Randono. I have used Tacoma golf clubs. I used them for the first half of this year or so. They were perfectly fine. If I didn't already have clubs, right, these are irons that I rebuilt and went back to. These are what I had before the Tacomos. Then they would have been perfectly fine to keep playing. They're not my favorite clubs I've ever hit, but they're, you know, for the price, very serviceable. A little more ball speed there, guys. Put your right cheek back on backswing, then push your left cheek back without lifting up your head. Well, that's interesting advice. You need to level out the ground you're standing on. You're on a fat slope. You can do it yourself. It's easy. Take care of your surroundings. I will be up to see your game. I'm not entirely sure I follow Israel. Your first comment, but that's okay. We've got this pretty level to where the launch monitor is, which is most of what I care about. Definitely go live. Love the content on the course. So that feels okay as far as generating some speed. 110 ball speed, getting closer. Thanks for all your support, guys. Over 100 viewers now. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Stay tuned for lots more live streams, cool content coming out. Been starting to get back into doing a bunch of editing. Oh, that was hit out of the toe. So we're going to have a lot more content coming soon for you guys. There we go. Starting to get it a little, launching more up in the... What's the tee time? Tee time is 7:30. Let's take a look at this swing here. Yeah, not bad. What's your favorite iron set for a good price? Good question. I'm not super familiar with, you know, like the current iterations of every manufacturer's clubs. However, I would tell you that generally speaking, if you get something that's used, you know, gently used, but manufactured in like the last 4 to 5 years, you can feel really confident that you're going to get something quality. You're not going to be, you know, losing out all that much to the brand new stuff. That was nearly a shank. Just thinned it. My name is Israel. I'm from Portland, Oregon. I'm new to golf, don't know what I'm talking about. Your lives are relatable. Keep up the good job. And God bless. Thanks very much, Israel. I appreciate your support on the stream. Thanks for checking in. And we're happy to have you here. Right? We're working on... I want these live streams and the comment sections, all this stuff. I want it to feel like we're building a community here. That this is a place where people, you know, look forward to coming, to hanging out, you know, talk about golf stuff, talking about what's going on in your life. You know, there's tons of good golf content and coaching and stuff out there. That felt a little bit steep. What do you think about stealth irons? I'm sure they're good. they're probably much, more on the forgiving game improvement side. You can definitely probably hit them a long way if you catch them solid. I thought that was the green-red flag guy. Oh, I don't know this guy. You're very welcome, Israel. Thanks for being here and showing your support. That was hit pretty good. Zach wants to know, you hit fades. Hey, Bear is here. What's a good way to practice your irons in a net? What should you focus on? Great question, Randono. So I focus mostly on, I like doing some distance control stuff with the launch monitor here with the wedges. Right now I've just been kind of, loosening up, seeing how far the ball's going. But I love working on impact, practicing your impact position, right? You can preset impact. Is a really good one. So get in here, keep these hips open. The head is going to be, in line with the ball. Handles forward. Right? And you can just preset that position. And then make some swings from there. That's a really good one. I like just, making the swing smaller. Right? So I'll get in here sometimes, guys, and I'll just chip a whole bunch of balls, like even with an 8-iron. And I'll just practice hitting the center of the club face, going through, my whole posture, setting up to it, right? And I'm only going to, that ball might have gone maybe 30 yards in the air on a driving range, right? But I dead flushed it. I hit it right out of the center of the face, right? And that's the skill, the technique that you're working on building. Right? You got to learn how to hit the center of this club face repeatedly. Oh, there's an ant on my computer. How do you control your face angle at the top of the swing? Roger, my advice is to think about the golf swing as really, you set yourself up in the backswing. So you do all your work in the backswing. And then the downswing happens so fast, it's just a reaction, really, right? You're honestly just, getting the club back on the ball. If you're really worried about a lot of manipulation or what's happening in the downswing, I think you might have a tough time. So I would really focus on getting that club in a good position at the top of the swing, right? Use some checkpoints, halfway back. Where's that club in the club face? How does it look at the top of the swing? And then from there, it's just about trying to get, to impact, keeping that club face as square as you can. My personal, philosophy or take is I don't like to see the ball curving through the air very much. So I have a very, I try to feel anyway like there's not a lot of face rotation in my swing. Right? I just set it square, I turn to the top, and I hit it. Right? I'm not trying to feel like I'm timing, the opening or closing of the club face in any way. I like to just, have it feel like I don't have to manipulate the face much at all. If I'm shaping the ball, I'm doing it more with path. Right? I'm aiming out to the right. I'm letting my path curve the ball, and vice versa, right? To hit a big fade, I would just aim way left. Stand a little closer to it maybe, and to make sure that path is steep and kind of left. You're a good golfer. Thanks very much. Look at your right knee in your replay. It shouldn't be completely straight in your backswing, but just bent. Do you hit fades? I do hit a lot of fades off the tee especially, but pretty straight ball flight with my irons. Randono, this is a Rapsodo mobile launch monitor. You can check out the link in my bio. Check out the link in my bio to learn more. You know what else we can do? Boom. Click that link. Casual Cooks. Hey, what's up, Cooks? Just started flushing my irons, still struggling with the driver. Well, that's okay. You got to remember, these are different skills, different swings, different clubs, right? Your objective with an iron to, hit the ball first and then the turf is very different than your goal with a driver where your ball's teed up and you're trying to hit it up into the air. Truth is objective. Can you show us what proper compression looks/feels like? Yeah, so the main thing that you're going to notice when you start really compressing the ball, you start feeling that like smushy, like, wow, I really could feel the ball like almost like a marshmallow compressing into the center of the club face, is simply by how much shaft lean can you deliver into impact, right? So you don't want to get overdoing it where you're really de-lofting the club. It's not going to be functional, right? But a good amount of forward shaft lean at impact is pretty universal among good ball strikers, right? You're hitting down on the ball, you're hitting the ball first and then the turf, and you're really maintaining this angle, right? So it's not a flippy kind of, you're not releasing it like this, right? With an iron, you're more holding that angle into impact, and then the release almost happens after, right? Because you really need this shaft leaning and compressed to de-loft the club, hit down on it, get on the back of the ball. Hey, Paul Cummins is here. What's up, Paul? Appreciate your support. So let's see if I can hit a decent one. Face was maybe a little shut, but it was hit nicely. Right, and that's what you really trying to feel. A great drill you can do to work on this, guys, is take your right hand off the club, basically. Just have it support the club like a paddle, right? And you can hit some little half shots where you're going to have to really feel like you're releasing this club with your body, right? You're not able to use your right hand to throw it to close the face, right? So this is going to force you to turn and turn, right? And that drill has really helped my ball striking a whole bunch, right? By just learning how to use, by basically just swinging it with my left hand, my lead side. I mean, you hear that, right? I can generate a pretty good amount of speed doing that drill with that strike, even with just this left hand. Aaron, what mats do you recommend? I would recommend whatever not this one is. This one I think was just a cheap, like a Dick's Sporting Goods, maybe some Maxfly brand, I forget. But it's not a built to last one. So that's part of my setup here that I'm going to work on upgrading at some point in the new year, I think. Hey, glad you're doing well. Jeff said, not the mat he's using. Yeah, well said, Jeff. Totally agree. I wouldn't take any advice from these parts. Well, that's okay, Matthew. I have great news. Just keep on scrolling. No bother to me, no bother to you. We just keep going about our days, and everything turns out just fine. All right, guys, coming up on the top of the hour here. We're going to hit one more ball and then call it a day. Hit that subscribe button for me if you haven't already. Drop a like on the stream. Get those notifications for when we go live again. Could be tomorrow morning, guys. Stay tuned. We're going to be playing golf 7:30 early. That was a nice strike to finish on. Love to see that. Hey, Tyneside is here. Gonna give that drill a go. Yeah, give it a try, Cooks. Oh, I'm sorry, Tyneside. Yeah, we are just wrapping up. Country Boys is here. Let me look at one thing quick. Maybe we'll hit one more ball. All right. Yeah, let's make one more swing. See. Whoa. Hey, Liam's here. Last swing of the stream, guys. Let's hope it's a good one. I do like that a lot. Really just getting my hips moving more. Poor punctuation from that side. Don't worry about it, my guy. Appreciate you being here. Guys, hit that subscribe button for me if you haven't already. We will see you tomorrow for another live stream.